Alright, so here's my basement camping adventure behind the scenes. 52 frames, week 21. So I actually took three attempts. First attempt I did not have the bulk of this stuff here. I just had like the stove and pot, and I learned that you could see some of the carpet. So that was bad. So I ended up reshooting. And I actually had this pulled back a little bit more to have it more open, but so then you had the boots and you had the flashlight there shining on the stuff like I was reading the map when I fell asleep. That was the concept, at least, except that my handy dandy glow stick, which is what is the faux light source, had fallen down for that shoot. So all those pictures, I'm illuminated even though I don't really have a light source, so I didn't like that. It kind of defeated my whole purpose. So when I shot the third and final round, I moved this back in here, which kind of cut off the boots a little bit. That's okay. But I also zoomed in, which kind of wiped out the flashlight. So then I had a light source on this stuff for no apparent reason. But that's okay. I gave up at that point. I had a couple of these little mini flashlights that I was using around the thing. I ended up taking some tissue paper and putting it on the front of this one because it was just too intense without it. But doubled up tissue, diffused it enough, gave me some ambient light on this front area, kept everything in. So the whole picture is, or the whole concept behind the picture is, you have the glow stick hanging over the area, and that's what's lighting me up. In fact, point of fact, I actually stuck a little flashlight back here on the tent and had it pointed down at me, going through the tent, using the tent as a diffuser. And what that did is that put a nice beam right down on my body and actually made it something. That glow stick, while pretty, is not actually that bright, so it actually doesn't work as a photographic light source. I mean, you could see the glow stick, but I'm very, very dim. It doesn't really illuminate me well enough, at least with the ISO settings. And then did various, sleeping bag in various positions on my side, on my back, just to play around with it. I ended up putting just a blanket behind us so it would kill some of these white walls, make it a little bit easier to take out the background in post. But actually, it was dark enough I didn't have to worry about that. And I even played around with putting some lighting here on the back side of the tent. Something that I probably would, if I was going to play around more, I was having some success with it. The light, that little green flashlight I was using, was just too bright. So I think if I could have diffused it better, it would have actually worked pretty well. It was giving, you could see more of the tent area. It was a little more obvious that I was in a tent. So that was the background behind the scenes of week 21. It was a somewhat disappointing shoot in the sense that I was really planning to be on a mountaintop with a waterfall or stars or something impressive behind me, and instead I ended up in the basement. This is because it has pretty much rained all week and not let me get outside. So some other time we'll get it done. In having to settle for doing this indoors, it actually was kind of good. I took my time, got the settings on the camera all locked in, did a bunch of test shoots to figure out what ISO I wanted to be at, what lock the focus in, played around with the shutter speed until I got it where I wanted it to be. And of course, every time I changed the lights, it changed the shutter speed, so all that fun stuff. But I was able to actually focus on putting lights in different places, seeing how that worked, using the camera a little bit better. So it was a good learning experience from that perspective. I got to kind of play around with staging some still life type stuff, just random camping gear that I thought, initially I thought I was going to have to pretty much stay zoomed in, almost about like that. And I was afraid that you'd kind of lose, or you wouldn't be able to tell that I was in a tent. You just kind of see me laying in this weird thing. So that's why I ended up using this map of Glacier Park. I don't know that you can actually tell from the photograph that that's a map, but I was, had it been outside, I would have had grass or something there. But I was able to kind of make it work. We'll see. That was the picture. Next week, another challenge.